What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm LotusAsakura, the one who never knows best, and in today's video I want to talk to you guys a little bit about some Tekken 8, because a few days ago I came across a tweet, and I wish I still had the tweet bookmarked or saved, whatever. I don't, but I came across a tweet that had an interesting website, and this website is something that I've had open in a tab on one of my monitors for a few days now, and I'm finally getting around to recording this video. If you've been to the streams recently, which by the way, if you don't, link is always in the description down below, twitch.tv/LotusAsakura, you've seen me show this and talk about it a little bit, but there's a website that, if we jump over to the monitor, is called Tekkenlytics, where basically your Tekken rank data analysis is given to you if you enter your Tekken ID. This is a tool to give you insight to your online play, as it says, and all the data has been gathered and compiled from the wank.waves.wiki, which is something I don't think I've talked about before on this channel, but it's pretty interesting. So what we're going to do real quick is we're going to go over to Tekken. You can see I have this open. We're going to go to play data, and we're going to get our Tekken ID. So mine is this right here, and we're just going to go ahead and input this here over on the website. So let me just go ahead and type that in real quick. You do need to include the hyphens as well. You're gonna hit click, or you're gonna click submit and enter or whatever, and then boom, you have all this data that it shows you about your profile. And for me, this is really cool, really exciting, and really interesting, because something I really wished that Tekken 8 had is the ability to see who your best and worst matchups are, and that's exactly what this does. Because Street Fighter 6 does something like this, where you can see which characters you win against the most and lose against the most. And for a while now, I was under the impression, or I had a suspicion, that my best matchup, or at least one of my best matchups, was actually the Hwatong mirror match, which is interesting because typically I'm not too good in the mirror match. But I've gone on record to say before that I don't think most Hwatong players are all that great, and that I actually win against that character more often than not. And there's some surprises in here as well. So let's just go ahead and take a look. First things first, you can see you have your player, platform, ID, all that stuff, whatever. Y'all know me, LotusAsakura, and I have almost 1,700 total matches played in rank across all of your characters. But that's the thing too. This data, it shows you can display it, you can have it displayed to you where it combines all of the characters that you played in rank together, or individually character by character, which I think is really, really cool. So first things first, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at characters used all, and then I'll probably dive in exclusively, or like specifically to Hwatong and so on. So we'll see how in depth I go with this. But hardest matchup, easiest matchup. Apparently, the hardest matchup for me in the game is Panda, which actually comes as a surprise to me, because I thought I wasn't that bad against the Bears, but clearly I was very, very wrong, because Panda, and to a lesser extent Kuma, have actually kind of been giving me the hands. I felt like when I come across the Bears, I don't really lose as badly as I apparently do. And then Eddie, huge shock to me. My highest win rate in the game is actually against Eddie. If we scroll down here, you can see you have a matchup win-loss ratio. I have a almost 71% win rate against Eddie players. That's a surprise to me. Eddie's one of those characters who feels like he snowballs you and steamrolls you very quickly and very easily, and you're guessing for your life constantly. And I didn't think I was doing that great against him. I thought I was just doing very average, okay at best, you know. Apparently I'd be watching Eddie players. News to me. Generally speaking, I have a 54% win rate, which is like pretty average, I guess. Clean match win rate, no win rate, where I get 3-round brown. You see all that stuff here. Also has like your match win-loss timeline, as well as, you know, which days you play the most, your playtime hours. You can see that my stuff is kind of all over the place. I don't know what it is exactly. I don't be playing Tekken on Mondays. Mondays are just not for Tekken, I guess. And then also matchup frequency, and it even tells you players that you've fought the most. So apparently the player I've run into the most online is somebody by the name of Blazing Swag God, which I do recognize that name. This is a name I feel like I've seen quite a lot. The character I fought the most, the character you fought the least, which I guess also makes sense. It doesn't surprise me that the characters that I run into the least are the characters I lose against the most, because you get the least amount of experience. You probably aren't labbing those characters as much, guilty as charged, and you just don't get a whole lot of practice against them. So the character I've run into the absolute least is Panda. The character I've lost to the most is Panda. I only have a 23% win rate, which genuinely surprised me. I didn't realize it was that bad, but it's that bad. I be getting washed by Panda. I guess I'm no better than anybody else, which I knew that part, but I didn't think the Bears would give me that much trouble. So let's go ahead and dive in. Basically, the matchup win-loss ratios and everything like that are the things that are the most interesting to me. If you want a link to this, it will be, of course, in the description down below, as well as also as a pinned comment where you can enter in your own ID and data and information and gather everything. And let me know in the comments down below, who is your best matchup? Who is your worst matchup? I'm actually very curious to see which characters people are beating up the most and which characters they're losing to the most. Also, in your comment, please include what character you play. So let me know what character is your main, who you win against the most, who you lose against the most, because I actually find stuff like this very, very interesting. I would love for you guys to share it, and feel free to tweet it at me as well, because I would just like to scroll through these graphs and just see what other people's data looks like. So that being said, let's go ahead and dive into this a little bit. You can see the character I win against the absolute most across all my characters is actually Eddie. Second place, we have Leo. Third place is Lars. Leo shocks me a little bit because I feel like Leo is actually a pretty underrated and underplayed character, and I don't think I run into Leo too much, but I'm surprised that I'm almost 70% win rate against Leo. We have Lars, 67% win rate. You love to see that. You love to see it because, as y'all know, I am a incredibly big Lars hater. Okay, hate that character. Think he's super duper corny. We ain't got to spend too much time talking about Lars. Y'all know how I feel about that character. But yeah, I didn't expect him to be one of my highest matchups. And then we have Huadong at 4th. But what is interesting, real quick, if we jump over to Huo specifically, you'll see that my worst matchup is Yoshimitsu. We'll touch back on that in a moment. But my highest win rate is actually Lars at 70%, almost pretty much the exact same percentage as my overall win rate against Eddie. And then second place is a tie between Victor and Huadong. So I am more often than not winning the Huo mirror match, and at a pretty decent clip. And Victor, I'm not too shocked about the Victor one, because honestly, I feel like almost every single Victor player I fight is very predictable and plays exactly the same. Obviously, there are exceptions, and I'm not that good of a player to where I'm just going to win every single time, but more often than not, I am winning. 62%, 63% if we want to round up, isn't like, oh, I'm just bodying every Victor player, but 71%, I'll be bodying a large player. I'll take a pride of that. But anyway, if we jump back over to all, I just want to go ahead and go through some more of these. We can see that Huadong is in 4th. 5th is actually Shaheen. Well, yeah. As a matter of fact, I think the first time I ranked up to Bushin was actually against a Shaheen player. I don't know why I remember that specifically, but yeah. And it was a Shaheen player who was higher ranked than me. Raven, actually, okay. I thought Raven would be a character I have a lower win rate against because he's so rare. You can see he's one of the characters I run into the least. My matchup frequency is only at a 23, so he's a bottom, what is that, 5, 6 character that I fought? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he's the 5th character, the 5th least ran into character by me. But apparently I do pretty well, all things considered. Victor's relatively high on the list. Lydia I've actually won against more often than not when I fought her, because I played a decent amount of her, and like I hadn't fought too many characters or too many players who were like specialized in that character and were doing a lot of like really like grimy stuff with her. She's also got some pretty easy to use counterplay because she's very steppable. That character is extremely linear and doesn't have particularly good tracking or lows. So she's, she can get overwhelming and snowball you pretty badly once she gets going. That's the case for a lot of characters in this game. But if you just pick your spots and know how to sidestep, sidewalk decently well, she's a lot easier to play around. I say that now, I can't wait for my next Tekken rank video for me to be getting bodied by a Lydia player, because that's just the nature of how these things go, right? Kazuya, this one I'm a little bit proud about, because when the game first came out, I felt like I was losing to Kazuya a lot. And I don't know what it was in particular, because like Kazuya is not like a super like gimmicky character. He's not particularly strong. He's really good now, but it's not like he was super top tier and anything like that. And I know what the Kazuya players will immediately say. Oh, well, you play Huadong, so clearly you're just a scrubby, mashing, carried, spammy idiot, and you were playing Kazuya players who just have significantly better fundamentals than you, and they're just better Tekken players, and that's why. And if that's the case, then why am I winning so much now? It's because I improved as a player. But I don't really think it was that at the start. I think it was just kind of like a mental thing in my head. But let the Kazuya players tell it. They'll just say, they were just better than you. And like, I'm not even saying whether or not they were or were not better than me, but this whole idea that Kazuya players are just so much better than everybody else and just have significantly better fundamentals, I just don't think. At one point that may have been true in Tekken 8. I don't think that's true at all. Shout out Keisuke though. Keisuke been putting in mad work. Matter of fact, I believe he's in top 8 at versus fighting. Yes, he is loser's side. I'm looking forward to watching that. That'll be happening a few hours from now as I'm recording this video. I say a few hours from now. It's like in 9 hours, I want to say. Something like that. Anyway, going back to the chart, we can see, yeah, Kazuya was a character I was losing to a lot, but I've significantly increased my win rate. I definitely was lower here on the list before. King, surprisingly high. Reina, Dragonov, I don't do too bad against. Jin, and as we proceed, Alyssa, I'm surprised is this high. I thought Alyssa would definitely be one of my losing matchups. Nina being a losing matchup for me doesn't shock me at all. Fang feels like I lose to every single time. Double Jin, Asuka, Azucena, Kuma. Okay, Kuma's not too bad. It's 42%, 43%. It's still a losing win rate, but it's a lot better than the Panda win rate. Yoshimitsu. This one is no shock to me. I believe Yoshimitsu is one of the strongest characters in the game, and I don't think it's a coincidence that we're seeing so many Yoshimitsu players pop up and do well in these tournaments recently and lately. I feel like we're seeing obviously Kane and Trench, Sin, who else? There was just another Yoshimitsu player that was in top 8 of the EWC LCQ. I'm blanking on their name right now. Please forgive me. They're not a player who I was particularly familiar with, but I'm seeing more and more and more Yoshimitsu, not only online and in ranked, but offline in these events, in these top 16s, even top 8. Like we said, Sin, the Yoshimitsu player, he won, what was that, crossover just a week or two ago. And yeah, this character is, I said it before, I'll say it again. I said it weeks ago at this point. The Yoshimitsu Uprising is upon us. Don't be surprised when this character starts popping up left, right, and center. And yeah, man, I think Yoshi is really that good. Top 10 for sure, top 5 maybe, I don't know. He's in the conversation. There's a lot of characters in that conversation right now between Dragunov, Fang, Nina, Alyssa. People want to throw Jin up there. I wouldn't, but that's just me. But yeah, there's a lot of characters in that conversation. Anyway, let's jump over specifically to the Hwadong data. You can see that my easiest matchup is Lars, my hardest matchup is Yoshimitsu. I think a big reason why I struggle so much against Yoshimitsu in particular is because I'm so used to being able to enforce my plus frames, and Yoshimitsu is a character who makes me pay for being too aggressive with flash. I get flashed on a lot, and that's kind of a weird sentence now that I've said it out loud, but I know what I mean. Yoshimitsu players in flash, I'm not gonna lie, they be bodying me a little bit. It is what it is. My win rate has tanked a lot in recent times. You can see I was having a really rough day this day. 31 wins, 43 losses. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The boy was real up and down here. It is what it is. We don't play Tekken on Mondays. But yeah, the character I fight the least is Panda. I've only run into Panda a total of 6 times. I don't see too much Shaheen, Kuma, Claudia, Xiao Yu, Alyssa, Nina. I feel like I see Nina and Alyssa a little bit more than this, but I guess it is what it is. Characters I see the most: Jin, Kazuya, Law, King, Reina, and Huo. Huo decently high on that list, and you know what I'm saying, it don't be working out too well for the other Huo players. Lars we already saw. Raven I'm winning against a surprising amount. Leo 60-40, that's also my favorite. So who are the losing matchups I have here? Lydia, I'm actually losing to Lydia. You know what, actually now that I think about it, a lot of my wins against Lydia have come when I was playing as Lydia. Hold on, where's Lydia here? I haven't fought her a ton as well, have I? You know, where is Lydia on this list? I know she's got to be here on the lower end. A total of 22 matches. Okay, not a huge sample size, but I'm actually losing a lot against Lydia right now, which I guess makes sense because Hwadong is a character that doesn't have good panic buttons or like get off me tools, and they also nerfed his power crush, so that's even more punishable now. And you know, like I said before, you got to use movement more to beat Lydia as a character, and that's something that I'm apparently not doing enough as well. Certain characters I play though have like better get off me tools like panic buttons or whatever, so they deal with that a little bit easier, or like they have like an easier to use or better to understand power crush than what Hwadong has. Anyway, Nina, no shock there. Zafina, no shock there. Xiao Yu's okay. We're doing okay against Xiao Yu as well. Not incredible. Brian, yeah, Brian. So in my head, I felt like some of my worst matchups as a player and also as a Hwadong main were Alyssa, Nina, Brian, Lily, and Steve. Those were like some of the matchups I felt like I found the most challenging. And then Yoshimitsu, which Yoshimitsu's like those first 5 characters I just named, I felt like those are difficult for Lotus and also difficult for Huo. I don't know if Yoshimitsu's a hard matchup for Hwadong. That one feels like it's more of a Lotus thing than a Hwadong thing, because I feel like if I just pump the brakes more and just kind of play around Flash a little bit more, that's probably something that's easier for me to deal with. But yeah, so as we see, Yoshimitsu, my worst matchup as Hwadong. Panda is pretty low. Kuma and Panda are actually tied here when I'm playing as well. Fang, yeah, I feel like I'm always getting bodied by Fang. Shaheen, Azu. So Lily, Brian, Alyssa, and Nina is actually not as bad as I thought. So the matchups of, where is Steve actually on this list? Steve is actually a 50% win rate for me. Okay, I felt like I was losing to Steve more often than not, but I guess not. But yeah, I find this data like very, very interesting. Also, you want to see something funny? So y'all remember when Eddie came out and he was just like kind of noob stomping, just like scrubbing everybody out, just kind of getting a lot of free wins. So I ended up with a 78% win rate as Eddie, 35% clean match rate. Easiest matchup is Paul, hardest matchup is Raven. When you see the matchup spread and just like the percentages, this is kind of funny. Okay. There are several characters here where I just never lost to them. Now, granted, you can see the sample size isn't that big. I played Eddie until I got him to Fujin. I have not played Eddie in ranked at all since I got him to Fujin. I had my fun with it while it lasted. who's the character? And the most fought character I went up against was actually other Eddie players, which is funny. I think I lost to like one Eddie player. Like I think I literally only lost to one other player, maybe two. Maybe you could do the math and figure that out, but you see the win rate's pretty high. Anyway, Paul, Asuka, Lily, Reina, Leo, Alyssa, Brian, Shaheen, Xiaoyu, Jun. Wait a minute, I'm noticing something here. All of my bad matchups, all the characters I normally struggle with where I feel like are bad matchups, I was whooping their ass when I was playing Eddie. Yo, hold up, am I about to have to break out the pocket Eddie? Is Eddie the answer to all the characters that I be losing to as Swadong? Wait a minute. Granted, again, a lot of this data is based off the first week or two of that character being out and people just not knowing the matchup yet, not knowing the counterplay. So like these are obviously very inflated numbers, but it is kind of funny to look at. And then I had what 96% win rate against other Eddie players. Jin is 90, Lee. So who are the ones I lost to? I didn't fight any Oh wait, no, I fought one Claudio, right? There was one Claudio I lost. There was one Raven player and I lost. So that's with a grain of salt. And then we had Leroy, Whoa, which is funny. That of all characters, I lose to Whoa as Eddie, where I say it like other Whoa players aren't that great. And then I have this character where I dominated so many matchups, and then ironically, the one of the characters I lost to the most, which this had to be literally 3 games, right? Was Whoa. Yeah, it was only 3. Nina, Law. So yeah, the most was Eddie, and then there was Fang. Surprising amount of Fang on the way up. Kazuya, Law, Jin. So hold on, I want to see now. Okay, so Paul is up here, 100% win rate. So we fought 9 Paul players. That's a decent long, again, not a huge sample size, but 9 Paul players, they all lost. Where's Asuka here? Asuka was only 2. Lily, where's Lily? Lily, it was a decent amount, 7 players. Reina, how many Reina players were there? Probably not too many, right? Unless it was 11. Okay. Then we have Leo, I know was low down here. That was only 1 player. Brian, Shaheen. Brian was only 2. Shaheen was only 2 players. Xiaoyu had to be pretty low, right? Xiaoyu, there was 2 players. Also, I don't know how much of this I was blocking with my camera. I apologize for that. And then Kuma, we only fought 1 Kuma player, but we beat that 1 Kuma player. Oh yeah, and it also shows you that. So all this stuff is specific to each character that you play. I also want to see the Lydia stuff. So Lydia, easiest matchup is still Eddie. We actually have 100% win rate against Eddie, but I haven't played a ton of ranked with Lydia. I think what rank am I at with Lydia? I think I got up to Battle Ruler. I don't think I've played enough to get to Fujin yet, but I'm still enjoying that character. Hardest matchup is King. Have I just lost to every King player? I have. I've lost to every Jack, Lee, Victor, Xiaoyu, and King that I fought in ranked, which is like 1 or 2 per character. I felt like, this is crazy. The jump from second to first place is nuts. I felt like I played more matches than this, but I guess not. I guess I actually don't have that many games played as Lydia. It felt like it was more than this though. But yeah, that's pretty much it. As you can see, you can go through this character by character. 50% win rate is Victor. No way. This is, oh, I forgot. Okay, so another thing to note and to keep in mind is that I think if I go back to the home page, it will say, well, you can even see it here. It doesn't go back to the very start of the release of the game. The first 2 months, the game came out in January, right? So January, February, and basically most of March. So about 3 months worth of data are not included here. So you're not going to get like the full scope of everything you've done since the game released. So that is also worth taking into account. I was gonna say, I haven't played Victor very much at all since the release of the game. In fact, it says that I've played a total of 3 games since since the first few months. So these numbers don't actually represent anything too well. I hadn't actually looked at the Victor page yet. What's Reina looking like? Yeah, my Reina definitely plummeted. You can see I was doing okay at the start, and then it started to get a little bit more difficult for the boy. Hold on, who's got the 100% win rate? Raven. How many Raven players did I fight? It was only 1. Okay, I fought 1 Raven player. Pretty low win rate. That's got to be my lowest one, right? It was with Reina. I know that one definitely fell the hardest out of every character that I was playing. Victor's is definitely a lot higher than this if it actually took into account everything. Right. Okay, no. This is, I for a second I was like, there's no way. I was cooking people. Well, actually, we can see the overall obvious win rate. If I jump back over to the PlayStation, like we can see. Also, my defense, I don't understand. I've watched my defense stat fluctuate so much. I normally hover around like 70s, like high 70s, right? Like I don't think I've ever quite cracked 80, but like 75 to like 77, 78, that's normally where I am. And every time I think I'm getting good at my defense, I run into a player who just like throws a lot. And like my throw breaks are getting better, but I'm not like a mash at it. And every so often I run into a player who's like abusing throws. And I just struggle really bad, particularly like Jin players and like June players. And like my throw escape grade will plummet, and then my defense drops so much. I'm like, damn, bro, I was working really hard on getting that number up there because I was like, I'm trying to get better defensively as a player. And like every time I start feeling good about it, yeah, my throw break training needs a lot of work. Anyway, we were looking for the character data. So overall, yeah, Reina's only at 50. As you're saying, I was just saying, as you're saying at 73%, that sounds way more accurate. Also, I'm at Flame Ruler with Lydia. Okay, it was only 113 wins, so it wasn't that many games played. But yeah, you can see these are the in-game numbers for your overall win rate. But this website is just really cool because it shows you specific character stuff and matchups and everything like that. And Victor being at 63, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. King, wait, what? When on earth did I play King in ranked? Or was this just online? I might have just played this. This isn't necessarily ranked, right? This might have just, oh, right, because these aren't all ranked stats. I forgot. These are just your overall online matches. I was like, I don't remember playing no King in ranked. I probably just played that randomly against a friend or something, one of the homies. But anyway, that's gonna do it for today. Hopefully you found this video interesting or fun or insightful in some capacity. Like I said, let me know which character you main and what your best and worst matchups are in the comment section down below. Link to this website is in the description as well as also in the pinned comment. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already so you can stay tuned for all else content I'll put on bringing you. With all that being said, that's pretty much all I have for today. And remember, nothing can happen until you swing the bat. Later.